Hey guys, and welcome back to the Timbers from the Spot podcast. I'm Tyler.
I'm Jeremy.
And we got a big game going back today. Great game.
Yeah.
One of the best for the Timbers in recent times.
That was a very surprising game too, especially how Wednesday went.
Oh yeah, actually we can't say it's the best game for the Timbers in recent times.
Yep.
Most goals ever scored by the Timbers except for a USL game. So huge on that end. The offense was absolutely kicking tonight, or on Saturday night.
Yeah.
I think let's go through the lineups first. Let's go.
There was a little bit of surprise when the lineup sheets were announced.
Yeah,
because the first person in goal was Ivicic,
which
getting his first Timbers start.
Definitely surprised about that. That's actually his MLS debut.
Yeah, because Steve Clark had a good game on Wednesday. He was kind of the reason that the Timbers didn't lose, as we said in the last podcast.
Yeah,
and it was kind of a surprise to see Gio kind of take this chance in what we said was a must-win game.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that I was disappointed or upset by it though, just because I feel like the reason that Ivicic came into the team in the first place was to be the guy. I think they had him come into the team. Clark, I mean, he's not old yet, I would say, but he's getting up there. He's getting there. Where at some point he's gonna be like, okay, he's getting older. We got to have a replacement. And I think Ivicic is the guy. And I thought that he played great in this game, and especially he had that triple save. And we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had Farfan at right back, Cascante and Tuiloma in the center half, and then Villafaña on left back.
Which, not too surprised by that. I thought maybe Zuparik would get in. Didn't. That's all right.
And then Diego Chara, of course, as we expected.
Yep.
Paredes.
Kind of surprised by that one. I was surprised because Williams didn't get the full game on Wednesday. But I can understand it.
Because Williamson was a little poor on Wednesday.
He was just not on, which I think it's kind of fair to say. The whole team just wasn't there on Wednesday. So, I can understand a little bit of a change.
And then also, a little bit of a surprise was Konechny.
I think with him coming in and with Paredes coming in, it was almost like okay, let's put these guys into this game so they can show us what they can do in this game, since they haven't. I think those two guys specifically in the team recently have been the two guys that I would point out as not being in great form right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe a move by Gio to say, okay, let's see what these guys can do in a game like this where it's an important game, but at the same time that both teams are having a little bit of rotation. So I think that's actually, I was surprised, and I thought maybe somebody else like Polo should have gotten the start, but I can understand.
Yeah. And then Loria also started, which was expected, especially since Chara started the last game.
Yeah.
I expected him to be on the bench.
And he's still not full fitness.
Yeah, exactly.
So understandable, and he's been playing good, so yeah.
And then Diego Valeri, who we fully expected to be in the squad. Yeah. And then at the 9, we had Bobosi.
Which I really like that move. Yeah. Actually, but giving him the
start. It was a bit of a surprise because, I mean, the start wasn't a surprise, but the fact that it was at the 9 was a little bit of a surprise, but it was also great. Because I think we can, finally start to break down because Villafaña gives a beautiful cross in the 27th minute. Bobosi, great header in, and I mean that's where he's really excels, is when he's at that front spot and he's receiving those crosses in the middle. Yeah. Rather when he's out wide, he can still get those same opportunities. He can sometimes get those same opportunities, but it's just not as common.
Yeah, and I think with putting him out wide towards the beginning of the season maybe gives him a little bit of an advantage than stepping back into the middle. Seeing he goes from that guy that gives service into the middle to then being that guy again up top who receives it, and he knows how to make those runs better now, and I think he's more confident now, especially. So moving up top, I think that's his position. That's where he's most comfortable playing, and I thought it really showed in this game because I thought he played great. Yeah. And it gave him a chance to be more involved in the game for sure, and I think he definitely was. So, I think that's a great move.
Yeah, and I think we should point out an interesting fact that Bobosi now has 8 headed goals with the Timbers, which is tied for the most in Timbers MLS history. And he's tied with Diego Valeri.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy considering how long Valeri's been in the team compared to Bobosi. And especially Bobosi just started getting the start like last season. Yeah. So, or 2 seasons ago, which is crazy. And he's also ahead of Zlatan now in the overall MLS, ever most headed goals. So since 2019, I think he's got the most headed goals in the league, which is still kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we could also say to that point that Villafaña now, in his two, because he didn't start the last game, and then he comes back in the last 2 games that he's played, he's had an assist to Bobassy's header.
Yeah.
From the same spot.
They just have they have a great connection.
Oh yeah, and I think Villafaña, especially this season, his distribution and like balls in the box have been like significantly better, and they've been really good this season.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
He's really been great at being the attacking, like left back, kind of left wingish back.
Yeah.
Sort of role, and he's been doing a great job with that. And I mean, he's a great piece, and kind of a great, like, when Gio needs his best squad, Villafaña is always out there. You can always count on him to give great crosses and great balls in the middle to the playmakers and finishers.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of, I think at the beginning of the season you could kind of see that that's where Gio wanted to go, but with the outside backs, but the distribution just wasn't there. And then now it's starting to come together, and like the balls in the box are like creating assists and creating goals, and it's kind of, you can see that it's kind of starting to work, and like it's starting to tick, and the offense is starting to come together in this game, especially compared to the last game, especially on Wednesday. So I don't know, in terms of the lineups and how this game went, I think we did pretty good at predicting it, and I thought that I was not too disappointed with it. I would say.
The lineups were a surprise to see at first.
Yeah.
But then when the game kind of got started, you were like, this isn't going to be bad.
Yeah, and
because I think everybody played well.
Yeah, and in the first probably 15, 20 minutes, maybe even 30, I think it was all Timbers.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, on most of the possession, especially in the first 15, I don't even know if San Jose had the ball in the Timbers half.
Yeah.
Stacking on goal. So.
And then in the 25th, we get the handball penalty, and then just 2 minutes later, Bobassy scores.
Which I don't know what they're arguing for on the handball penalty. San Jose, I mean, that's a clear handball.
Yeah, his arm was like kind of up to the side, and even if he was trying to pull it back, it wasn't like it was like on the side of his body, and then he tried to pull it back. It was like out here.
No, that's a handball. Yeah.
And the funny note on that is you could hear it on the broadcast. So San Jose, behind like their stadium, the parking lot has a bunch of like cars out there, have their fans, and when Valeri's up at that penalty, you could just hear honk, people trying to distract him. I don't really know if that does too much.
I don't think it probably does. How louder in the stadium would be.
But it's just it was really funny because some of them were keeping it up when it was like 5-1.
Actually, I mean, it's better than nobody in the stadium, I guess, right?
Yeah, but this never gave up. It was like 5-1. You can still hear honk.
Yeah, okay, come on. 5-1,
A little annoying at that point, but
all right, so let's go. So in the last pod, we talked about how Valeri was going to be huge in this game in terms of like his play would impact the team as a whole.
Yeah,
and I think we got that spot on, saying that if he played good, the team would play good.
Yeah.
And he had a great game. He had one of the best games of the season, I think, for himself personally. And it kind of, because he is that link between the back line, midfield, and like the attack. And I thought that he really was able to break down San Jose's like man-to-man pressing in this game, and he was able to find the space and like get some like 1-2s in the middle.
Yeah.
And he figured out how to play against the system, and it showed, and he had a great game.
Yeah, Valeri really had that game that we were talking about in the game that, I mean, it was Gio kind of just let him loose.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was perfect out there. I mean, he converts the penalty beautifully, and then he's just giving great service to other players, and San Jose didn't have an answer for him.
Yeah, I mean, 2 goals and an assist in this game.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I thought he should have taken that. There was a free kick towards the end of the game, a direct free kick at the top of the 18 that we ended up taking. And I thought Valeri should have taken it, go for the first Timbers hat trick, but I don't know. Because I think if anybody's going to do it, I think Valeri's going to be the guy. He's going to get the first Timbers hat trick.
Yeah.
Out there. At some point, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, so let's talk about the back line in this game. I thought much better than Wednesday and then even against LAFC.
Yes.
I thought it was much more organized, I would say.
Yeah.
And they really, especially I think since playing San Jose on Wednesday and then playing them again on Saturday, they really figured them out. And they did a good job of like shutting down some of their main attacking players.
Yeah. They really like stayed well together in the back, stayed connected to sort of the people they had to mark and stopping runs and putting pressure on players so they couldn't really get that sort of like offensive structure. Because the Timbers backline did so well at keeping them uncomfortable and not allowing them anything.
Yeah. And I actually think Ivicic had a fairly large role in that because I think he did a good job in the back of like controlling his back line, I guess you could say. I don't know, as a keeper, as a new keeper, especially coming into the team for the first time, I thought he did a great job. Yeah. And so what I was talking about before, that triple save that he had in, I think it was the 42nd minute, the triple save that he had, that was huge, especially at that time. I think that really, I don't know, it gave him confidence for sure, and it gave the team confidence. In that, if that goal goes in any of those three, that completely changes the game.
Well, yeah, because let me look at the goals one more time. Is because they would then score a couple minutes later.
Yeah, and it would have been again that because when San Jose scores their first goal, it almost feels like, oh no, it's gonna be another one of those runs where they go and score 3 goals, like it was against LAFC and some other games this season.
And maybe it would have felt like that if they'd scored in this 42nd minute right here.
Yeah,
maybe we'd feel like, oh, they're gonna get another one before half. But this shuts it down.
Yeah,
shuts down. It doesn't shut down their momentum because they get one a couple minutes later, but it shuts down the after chance because when they score in the 45th minute, the ball doesn't really get kicked off until like the 45th minute, and you can kind of know, okay, we have to hold off for a minute or two, and then we can go into the locker room up 2-1. Yeah, and that's exactly what they did. It was another goal conceded in the last 15 minutes of the half. Yeah, which again, come on, we got to stop left conceding these goals, but. It's just really good that he was able to come up with such a clutch save and prevent it from, because that situation could have gotten bad. Yeah. Because if they scored in that 42nd minute, then they get 3, 4, or 5 minutes to score another one before the half.
Yeah, which is really what's been happening in every other game. Where they have a couple minutes, they get 2 or 3 goals, and then it just takes down the Timbers mentality, like their not attacking, but just their confidence in the game, really. And then it gives the other team so much confidence to go forward, and especially coming into the second half, that just would have changed the game completely, really, And I think, talking about the goal that San Jose had scored, I think just defensive, I know we talked about how the defense is a lot better in this game, but still in the last couple games, it's still the marking, because I think you can see Villafania didn't follow his man there, and that's why he has a pretty open shot in the middle of the box, and it's a beautiful shot, and nobody's saving that. But it still comes down to the marking, I think, which has been a problem, and it's gotten much better in the last couple of games, or in this game specifically compared to the last 2. But just another lapse, I guess, in concentration, not following his man in for Villafania. But I don't know.
Yeah, those are the types of mistakes we can make against San Jose, but we cannot make those types of mistakes against Seattle. No. Because if we allow that once, that would give, if we allow it like we did, Seattle can capitalize more on building on that rather than what San Jose did.
Yeah, and Seattle's a much more threatening team, I think, up top. They have a lot more, with Raul Diaz right now is playing really good. Yeah. And somebody like that, you can't give him space in the box. I mean, you saw the 3-0 game in Providence Park this season, and it was just, even a little space, you got a tap on the ball and it goes in the goal. Just any kind of space, and they can't be giving these forwards that much space in the box. Yeah. Really, is what it comes down to.
I mean, the back line for the backs, they have to make sure also for Seattle they're getting on Jordan Morris because he can really create for Rui Diaz or the other Sounders players in the middle, or he can get it himself by kind of with his pace. He can run behind, he can dribble past people, and I think the defense played well in this game, and they need to build on that for the next game because that is going to be such an important point.
Yeah, and I think. In this next game against Seattle, if they can play similarly to how they played in this game against San Jose, I think they can have a good game. But the thing is, it's such a different dynamic because the way that San Jose plays, it's a specific, Valeri had to figure out in the middle how to make his own space against San Jose. He was going to man mark, right? And it's just a different game almost. And I don't know, I think coming in with all of the starters again, it's going to be a great game against Seattle. But yeah.
Let's go back to defense a little bit, and let's not talk about the Timbers defense. Let's talk about San Jose's defense.
Okay, yeah.
Which I don't know, the defense just hit a wall, and all of a sudden they just decided, hey, let's just let them score. And it started the third goal was in the 57th minute when Valeri got that deflection off of, I think it was 2 people.
Yeah, deflected twice, yeah.
And then, you know, kind of at that point, they kind of held on to it for a little bit more until Chara scored in the 70th minute. Cascante scored in the 85th minute off a beautiful Valeri assist from a corner. And then Niesgoda scores in the 87th. And, you know, they just kind of, San Jose looked like they did in that 7-1 loss against Seattle, where, you know, Seattle kind of got more things early, but it was still kind of the same thing as the Timbers. You know, Timbers just got anything they wanted.
And I know it's in the DNA of the San Jose team where, like, Matias Almeida kind of tells them we're not, like, he's come out and said we're not going to play defensive. Like, they are an attacking team who's going to attack. But in a game where you're down by this much and your defense is just getting shredded, and then he subs in, he takes out 2 defenders for 2 attacking players. And it's like, I don't know. Not that we care.
Well, but they can't score anyway. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't know. Interesting moves, which it did change the game, I will say, when he brought in the subs. Yeah. And it gave them a little bit more push, but then the Timbers got the next goal.
But as soon as we pushed back, their defense just couldn't handle it. And then we got that first goal, and then it was just it was that third goal, and it was over.
Once the goal came after they made their subs, it just dropped off again. And it got even worse for them, because then they had no defense, and they couldn't get any attack going. And I think you saw in the when Niesgoda scored, I mean, it's so easy. It's just played in, heel to Diego, back. It's just way too easy.
Just put it across, and Niesgoda just goes left foot tap.
Yeah, not even a good shot either. I guess we'll get
that was really bad.
But
again, Niesgoda should have gotten a much better shot.
Oh yeah,
but
at least it goes in. I think he needs that for his confidence.
Yeah,
too. Yeah, and same with Jimmy Chara. The fact that he got that goal, I think is huge. 2 games in a row. I think now it's time for him. I think he's going to start getting into the lineup.
Yeah.
So I think it's huge for him.
Yeah.
So for him to be getting these goals right now, I think it's huge. So, yeah, I think this is a big confidence booster, which is what we predicted and is what we kind of wanted to see out of this game. And I mean, this is much more than we could have expected. I think this is more goals scored by the Timbers than we predicted combined. So, so which is good.
Yeah, I should have stayed with my original prediction.
Yeah. 4-1, right? That was the original, yeah. I think, what was it, 4-1? I had 2-0. So, actually
I switched to 3-1.
Oh, 3-1.
So
we were 1 goal off. We were close. So
I'm sorry. Yeah.
But, I think it's just, that was a huge game. Must win. Got the biggest win. And, so I think now it's looking forward to Seattle. Is going to be the main focus.
Yeah. But really quickly, let's look at just a couple quick things from the game. You know, a couple funny moments you could say from the game. First off, in that crowd of like honking cars. There was a Timber fan there.
Oh, the
Timbers had a fan there.
See that, really?
Yeah, there was one car with the Timbers fans in it, and they were like jumped up out of the sunroof and they were showing their shirt. They were like,
that's why I didn't see that.
And the Timbers broadcast was like, yes, we have a fan.
That's funny.
That's so funny how we like got in there. And
I know how they let it in.
We probably he was like, oh yeah, I'm a San Jose fan, man.
Oh,
let me in, and then he gets in there and puts on a Timbers shirt. But
that's funny. Yeah.
Like you got all the cars next to you while you're a Timbers fan. Could you imagine that? It's just like. Or I don't know how many cars were, like 10, 15.
There's a good amount, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, the Timbers are just destroying them. You got that one guy in his car every time he scores, he's like, honk. And then everybody around him's just like, come on, man. Who let this dude in here?
That's funny.
How did I not see that on the podcast? They got their first fan of the season.
Yeah, wow.
Their first
away. Yeah.
And then the Valeri throw-in.
Oh, yeah.
What's Valeri doing, man?
I'm so confused by that one.
Yeah.
So confused, because what did he do wrong? He did nothing wrong.
He didn't.
I mean, if anything, you could say maybe he had the ball here instead of here, right? But, like, come on.
Come on, who cares?
How many times have you ever seen a bad throw called in a professional game?
It's like right.
Come on,
it's so
come
simple.
on. He
It's like,
had his feet down.
right here.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, what's he doing? Cut Larry. Is that what we do from this?
I think Larry should be benched for the
Maybe
next game.
bench. Yeah, bench. Teach him how to throw at the next practice.
A throw-in coach.
Yeah.
We've always heard you should get a throw-in coach. Learn throwing.
Oh, maybe we'll teach Larry a flip throw. You do the flip throw. I'll throw it in the box.
What if we got our friend Ethan and had him teach Valeri long throws?
Oh, there we go.
And then Valeri can just long throw everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were in San Jose's half, but still long throw it like out of the.
No, it was attacking on San Jose's goal.
No.
Yeah, wasn't it?
No, it was the throw-in was here, and then we were attacking on this goal down here.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't make sense why it was called.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't get that one. Maybe the ref gets a fine.
Maybe the ref has to issue a personal apology to Valeri for being dumb.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I think we'll take that.
We'll be like,
that with the throw.
Mr. Valeri, sir, I'm so sorry that I have messed up and ridiculed you by saying you had a bad throw, when in fact it was me that messed up.
Yeah.
Still, just I didn't even know it. I looked away for like half a second because I was like, okay, quick throw in to the defense and then get it forward. And then next thing you know, it's San Jose ball. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
and they show the replay, and I'm like,
yeah, because they didn't do anything wrong.
I'm like, okay,
yeah,
cool, like,
yeah,
what? That guy must have had money on San Jose and was he was trying to save something.
Yeah, at 5-1. Yeah, he really had to save him with that one. Yeah.
Maybe I can't think of a bet he would have on it that would make it save it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just bad reffing.
Oh yeah, no it is. That's all. I mean, what else did he say? Yeah, I don't know.
And then so we talked about San Jose's coach's bad moves.
Yeah.
And you know, it would have been really great to hear an explanation of them, but he got a headache and had to miss the press conference.
Oh yeah, I know. Like, come on. That would have been, I think, well, it's kind of explained through his past actions. Yeah. Because he kind of is like, that's his thing. He just like makes attacking subs, and it's an attacking team. So, yeah, but like, yeah, it would have been good to hear. And what's he going to say though? Like, yeah, we lost 6-1. Like,
well, he's got an answer for, you know, because for how bad this team is.
Yeah,
man,
that's true.
You can't just say like, oh, I've got a headache. I gotta go.
Yeah, that's
true. Your team's bad, man. It's your fault.
It's so hard though, because I don't know if you can fully put it on him. The fact that this team is so bad right now, because San Jose is one of those teams. It's like you never hear of them making a big transfer or like anything like that. And it's like he was the CONCACAF Coach of the Year a couple years ago after winning the CONCACAF Champions League.
Yeah,
and he's consistently been one of the better players in better coaches in North America. And it's like. I think it's more down to maybe the management of the club.
Well, who was the club he was with before? It was a Mexican side, right?
Yeah, he won it. Yeah, he was with the Mexican side, and they won the CONCACAF Champions League. And I don't know.
Well, I think it's just the fact that, you know, he doesn't have like the right mix of players for his style that he wants to run,
exactly,
and he doesn't want to adapt his style to the people that he has.
Yeah. Well, and he also doesn't have a very deep team. Yeah. So like he brings in the subs, and it's a completely different team. Like you see in this game, the energy just wasn't there from his side compared to Wednesday's game. So, yeah, I don't know. And then I think we also can talk about Cascante. Congratulate him on his baby. Yeah. On his goal celebration, putting the ball in there. Like, he's having his first kid in a little bit. So, congrats.
Good goal.
Yeah, great goal. Yeah, that was the first goal for the Timbers, actually. Yeah. So, congrats to Cascante. Yeah. I don't think. Oh, it wasn't slip and slide. The pitch wasn't a slip and slide.
Oh yeah, the pitch.
It was a little bit better. It was still a little bit.
Yeah.
There's still some slipping, but not as bad.
And we should talk about Valeri's injury that he took. You know, not like a massive.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I mean, he actually got like kicked in the face. Usually on those, like they go down and they look like they got kicked in the face, and then they don't. But he actually got it pretty good in that one.
Yeah, he comes off to get treatment, and everybody's kind of like, like you saw him on the ground and everybody was like, no,
yeah,
not Valeri, not an injury to Valeri, no, please, no.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see him get up and you see him infiltrate and you're like, okay, maybe he's coming back in.
Yeah,
comes back in, he's got this
big
bandage right here. It looks like he looks like he just aged like 30 years. His beard's like white because of the bandage, and you're like, what the heck?
I thought it was funny too because they made him come off and he had to change his jersey and everything and get the bandage. And then you see him at the end of the game in the fast 10 minutes, and his press interview, he had blood on his jersey. He had blood marks on his jersey, which I thought was funny because they made him come off and change it and everything, and then they just left it on. But so that was pretty bad. Yeah.
Just glad it wasn't.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Yeah. All right, so I think.
Should we look ahead to Seattle on Wednesday?
Seattle, yeah. So I think against Seattle, the key is to keep the defense tight, locked down, and need to work on the marking more, for sure.
Defense is going to be the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think that's
we can score as many goals as we want.
Yeah.
But Seattle can also score that many goals as well.
I don't know about as many goals because I think Seattle was still a good defensive team.
Yeah.
Obviously, with player amounts.
I think Seattle's got a little better defense.
These games are always just so close. Is the thing. It's so hard to predict what's going to happen in these games.
Yeah.
But,
especially with it being a rivalry game.
Well, yeah,
you just
exactly.
truly never know what's going to happen because, Seattle came out, beat us 3-0, and it was Seattle's the much better team, and then we come back and we beat them. And everybody's like, wait, what? How did this happen?
Even out of the 3-0 game, it's that watching that game, that didn't deserve the scoreline. It didn't deserve to be 3-0. The Timber, it was almost a 50-50 back and forth the whole game, and it was whoever scores first is going to win this game, basically. And Seattle got it, and then the Timbers had one of their breakdowns, 15 minutes, 3 goals, one of those games. But, which again, that's something else that can happen. I think they need to make sure, it should be a point in this game to not let up any goals in the last 15 minutes of each half. Yeah. I think that should be something that they're focusing on.
At least not let up 2 in the span of...
For sure, yeah.
2 in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, which they didn't.
Because maybe letting up depends on the situation, but maybe letting up 1 before half is okay.
But I think it's still something they need to work on though. It's the worst team in the league in the last 15 minutes of both halves. It's pretty bad. So that's something that needs to definitely be fixed, and especially against a team like Seattle, it just can't. Because it gives it.
Yeah, you can't give Seattle goals. Especially they're already going to create other goals outside of.
Yeah, exactly. Or they have the ability. They have the ability to.
They have the ability to.
Yeah.
So you don't need to give them an even better opportunity in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because San Jose could really only score in those moments where we kind of faltered a little bit and they didn't really have much opportunity outside of that. But Seattle's gonna have so much opportunity outside of that that if we gave them one in the 44th minute, then that just hurts us really bad. Yeah. Especially if that ties the game, puts us down, and that could be oh no, here they come. Yeah. They've got a goal, they sniff blood, it's.
And then they go into half with all the momentum at that point, and that's what's been happening in some of these games.
And you don't want to give a team like Seattle the momentum. You can afford to give San Jose the momentum, because their momentum is here. But if you give Seattle the momentum with the team they have, that's up.
They have a higher ceiling in the game. Yeah. To go and get more goals, basically. Yeah. So a team there's so much. They have a lot of more of a dynamic attack, and they have different players that have a team like San Jose is a team, but they don't have as many individual players. But Seattle is a team of individual players, if that makes sense. Yeah. So they work well as a team, but they have all these individual players. So, I think it's just got to get a little bit cleaned up. Because I think this game is huge. It's a 6-point game, really. And the Timbers now are in 4th after this. They're tied for 4th after this game in San Jose. And
really quickly, let's clarify what a 6-point game means.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. So, basically, the Timbers can gain 3 points on Seattle without Seattle gaining... it's taking Seattle's ability away from gaining 3 points. So, it's almost like the Timbers are gaining 6 points because Seattle can never get those 3 points back. So it's almost like a lose 3 points for Seattle, gain 3 points for the Timbers, which is really gaining 6 points for the Timbers, basically. Yeah. It's not an actual 6-point game. Yeah. But, And I will say, so Seattle has a game in hand. They're in first place in the West right now. But with that game in hand, it's still, it doesn't really, it's huge, basically. It doesn't really matter. They just need to win this game.
Yeah.
To get, it puts them into first, in theory, if they can win this game.
In theory, it would tie them with Seattle.
Yeah, tie them with Seattle.
And then,
first, yeah.
depending on, how, like, how Kansas City does and how the other teams above them do, then maybe we're in first, maybe we're in second.
But it keeps us in the top 4 for sure, probably top 3 at that point, and that's huge right now, especially with the weird schedule. We don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the season.
Yeah. So, especially with the game against an easier team like Vancouver coming up after that, which gives it even more better opportunity to build.
But even against a team like Vancouver, it's so hard to predict because it's a Cascadia game. You never know.
And Vancouver's been in great form lately.
Yeah, so it's you can't take any games for granted at this point. So
especially because like you said with the season, we don't really know when it's going. We have like a good idea of we assume like this many games will be played, but it could come to a point where MLS is like, hey, can't really figure out how to get many more fixtures. So we're just gonna play like 5 more games and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And the next phase is only 3. They're doing like 3 game phases at this point.
Yeah.
So you just never know. One team could get a bunch of positive cases, and then it's like, what do they do? Because they can have that team not playing. So I don't know. It's just these next couple. It's this specific week with Seattle on Wednesday, Vancouver on Sunday. It just needs, I think, 2 wins out of this week.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like it needs, and especially against Seattle, that this is such a huge game right now. In like more than one way. Not in the table, just for the rivalry, for everything. It's just such a big game. And I don't know. So let's go through some predictions. What do you think for lineups? What are we thinking? So
after the game he just had, I wouldn't be surprised if stayed in goal. The goalie was
Ivicic, really?
Yeah, Ivicic. After the game, I wouldn't be. Here's the thing with the goalie. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Ivicic or if it was Clark. You couldn't surprise me either way with that.
Okay, that's fair. I think Ivicic had a great game, so I think maybe reward him with some minutes.
But also, it is the biggest game of the season. It's a rivalry game, and Gio's probably going to want to go with someone he trusts, which would be Clark.
Okay. I think that's fair. So I think I'm going to go with Clark. Personally,
I think I'm going to go with Clark then.
But Ivicic will be on the bench.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we see Biafani on the left again instead of the right. Or no, he was on the left. Zupar comes back in. He got a rest in the last game for this game.
Cascante,
I think it's Cascante. And then I think Duval comes back on the right.
Oh, okay.
Charles Williamson in the middle. And I think they also are going to switch back to how they played the formation in the last game, the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
So, Valeri, I think Jimmy Chara comes in.
Yes.
And Abobasi.
Abobasi up top.
I don't know. I feel like he almost should, but it's
I want Abobasi up top.
Okay, I think either. So if Abobasi plays up top, then it's Mora out wide.
Yes.
So I think Abobasi and Mora, but okay, so it's tough because if
and then Abobasi and Mora kind of with like however the game is going, they can kind of just like move.
Yeah, that's true.
They can be fluid from top to wing.
Yeah, I think the other option is Abobasi wide and Mora top. Maybe, I think that's Goda comes in if Abobasi's wide. I think that's what I'm going to predict. I think I'm going to say
no, because Mora didn't play last game and Niesgoda did.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like Mora would probably. I feel like Niesgoda is going to be on the bench, or either Niesgoda or Mora is going to be on the bench. Which one everyone doesn't start, obviously, but.
I don't know.
I would rather see Abobasi up top and Mora out wide.
Yeah, I think after the game that Abobasi had up top last game.
You just can't deny that he's so much better up top.
Yeah, and he produces basically every time he's been up top this season.
Yeah.
So we'll say that. We'll say Abobasi and Mora wide. No, whatever combination they go with. I think that's solid. I think that's the first choice team.
Yeah, I guess that's our strongest team.
Yeah.
Besides
at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, with all the injuries, obviously we can make it stronger, but this is the strongest team that is fit.
Actually, I don't know. I think that could be the strongest team, even without injuries. I think that could be. If Jimmy Char gets in on the wing.
You wouldn't want Blanco?
Oh, okay, well, yeah.
Are you kidding
me?
I'm
not even considering Blanco on the injury list just because he's like done. He's done for the season. So he's not on my injury list. But of course, Blanco would improve the team. But yeah, which in that case, if Blanco's in the team, then somebody has to come out. At this point, I don't even know. Was it more maybe?
Yeah, put Bobsey up top and Blanco.
Blanco.
Right, yeah.
Which is great. The amount of forwards, like the talent of forwards in the team right now is just like insane.
So
there's three starting forwards in the team right now.
Yeah.
That can produce goals, which is like the first time in so many years that there's been that many forwards up top and like attacking options. Because all those guys can rotate too.
Yeah.
Except for really Netscoda is the only guy that's like a forward. He's like
he's the 9.
But like all the other forward like attacking players can rotate around in that like front 3-4, which is like that's great. Yeah. They can come in anywhere.
That's great, like fluidity to have.
Yeah, and that really has been missing in the last couple of seasons from the team. So that's huge, especially in a season like this, to be able to trust guys to come in to different places in the team and like trust that they're gonna have a good performance no matter where they are.
Yeah,
is just like a huge. That's why I still stand by the fact that the deepest team in the league. Just not even from the perspective of like just the bench coming in, but even the guys that start can play in different positions on the field. Like you saw in the last game, Farfan moves to the right, and he's left-footed, left back, and just little things like that.
Yeah.
And even Konechny starts at the wing in the last game, and yeah, I don't know, just the depth, good to have. All right, so let's score predictions now. This one's tough. I'm predicting Timbers win in this one. And I think it's going to be tight, 2-1.
I'm going 2-2, draw.
Oh, okay. Go for a draw.
Going for a draw.
All right.
Seattle wins, Portland wins, now we're having a draw.
Okay. Yeah, Seattle.
That's what I'm thinking.
Seattle has been in good form. I think coming home for the Timbers, I think having some time to practice outdoors again too, because I know Gio had said it was really tough.
Yeah. For
them training at the little indoor facility, which is actually pretty close to where we live, and it's pretty small. It's a pretty small indoor area for them to be practicing.
It's definitely not where you would want a professional team practice.
Oh yeah, exactly. And for them to be practicing these things with the back line and the little tiny goals and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think, which is why they had a little bit of time to practice before going to San Jose on the pitch. And I know Gio had said in his press conference that was really beneficial to working out the game plan a little bit more. But
and now you have 3 days of practice outdoors leading up to this game, and that's just great.
Well, yeah. So all right, 2-1, 2-2.
Yeah,
that's it. All right, so let's hope I'm hoping for a good game on Saturday.
I'm just hoping it isn't that 3-0 game. It isn't.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
it's not going to be a 3-0.
I think you don't know if we're like better than we were then. I just also think that was kind of an unlucky game. Yeah. In terms of us getting blanked. So.
Yeah, no, that was just it was an even game. Unlucky that they got the first goal, and then after that, that's just the Timbers' fault for breaking down.
Yeah.
But unlucky in terms of giving Seattle the first goal and the momentum.
No breakdowns. That's the biggest thing.
Actually, that's what they need
to
focus on. No, there can't be a defensive lapse in concentration at any time.
Yeah.
To give them the chance to be in the game. Because I don't think the Timbers are going to necessarily control possession for the majority of the game. Like maybe control chances, because that's just not the kind of team that they are right now. It's more of a counterattack, maybe have more attacking chances in the game, but not necessarily control the ball. And I think they're okay with that. And that's almost like the plan is defend as a unit and then win the ball and get forward.
Yeah. And that works mighty well against teams like San Jose.
Yeah.
But when you come to a team like Seattle, it was the potency on offense
or
to
LAFC too. Yeah.
Destroy that. It gets kind of tough, and we saw it against LAFC. Defense just didn't look right. It broke down. We had terrible marking.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem for the Timbers all season has been marking. And it's just figuring that out and making sure we are marking.
Yeah.
Because there's one man on that Seattle team who needs to be marked.
Yeah.
And that is Raul Ruiz.
Yeah.
Needs to be marked every time. Every time that, he's in the box, just right outside of it. Mm-hmm. There should be a center back right on.
Needs to be on him. And
Chara should be back on him. Someone needs to be on him pretty much at all times when he is in the danger zone.
Yeah. And same with, I think the Timbers did a great job in Seattle when they won 2-1 of shutting down Jordan Morris, because he did not have that big, like watching some other Seattle games, he did not have that big of an impact in that game, because they did a great job of making sure that he didn't get on the ball as much as he could or he wanted to, which forced them to play through other guys, which I think Jordan Morris is who they kind of want to play through if they can to get it forward. So yeah, I think they need to make sure that they do that again. Mark Raul Ruiz, Nico Ladero can't have a ton of time on the ball. Yeah. I mean, it's tough though because they have so many of these guys.
I think if anything, I think you just need to focus on limiting Jordan Morris and making other people
accountable for
make those plays.
Yeah.
Make Ladero do what Jordan Morris does.
Yeah.
Because he can't do that. He's not as good as Jordan Morris. Yeah. Maybe it's the best game of his career. Yeah. Maybe the best game of the season, and he does do that. And you take that. You take someone who is not Rui Diaz, someone who is not Morris. You take them beating you. Yeah. Because you say the game plan was to shut down these two people. Yeah. And make the other people step up, and the other people stepped up and they beat us, and that's fine. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to take in the chest, because the next time you play them, it's not going to happen again. Yeah. It's very unlikely that person's going to replicate that same performance that they used, and you just have to focus on shutting down the two people who have consistent quality performances and leave it up to the other people who don't have that consistent quality.
Yeah. And hopefully they can't figure out a way around it from the last game. But I think, I don't know. I think a better defensive performance, because they did play defensively fairly well in Seattle last time. Yeah. So, not giving them too many, clear, open chances. So, I think that's really just the key. Shutting down their guy. For them, shutting down Valeri is probably their main focus. We need to shut down their attacking playmakers. Yeah. Really. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, one more point, too. I saw, because Diego and Jimmy on Wednesday, they made that, or the first end of the game, so Wednesday. They made that, the Diego assisted Jimmy for the goal, the whatever fifth brothers ever to have an assist. Yeah. And I saw there was a post by MLS that had a video of all the different brothers who have scored, it included Christian, Alex Rodon in Seattle. And the ball, so Christian played it in to Will Bruin, who played it to Alex Rodon, who scored. And I don't think that should count. So Diego and Jimmy are the better brothers in the league.
Yes.
Just had to say that.
Okay.
Better brother duo in the league. That's it.
Yes, of course.
Just had to point it out. All right. So we'll be looking forward. Hopefully a great game on Wednesday. So tune back in. We'll have a recap of that one next week. And go Timbers.